doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Or at least have it so you can just save on the dime.
Yeah.
Like Crash did that, and I was very appreciative Activision did that. You literally have 4 slots and an autosave, so you can manually save it, or you can just go by the autosave.
Yeah.
Amazing. More games need to do stuff like that. That's what you need. That's what you need. Okay, well, I feel like we've talked about a lot of the negative stuff. Is there anything that you did like about Yooka Laylee?
Well, I found like the game to be alright. It's because it's like it sounds like I really fucking hate the game, but
yeah,
it's not as bad as some games. There's some games I played that I'm just like, I hate this game.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to ever play it again.
Let me just say, I can hardly say Jamie doesn't hate the game.
Yeah.
But you have to realise is that obviously, again, you could. You could even say that your expectations were higher.
Yeah, that's the only problem. I was expecting more from it.
He's played banjo-kazooie, and I haven't. I
Yeah.
do have problems with this game that I do, for the most part, pretty much agree with Jamie. But I don't have the issue of growing up with banjo-kazooie, so I don't have that high expectation. I just have that, ooh, a new platformer, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
You know, and for the most part, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It does have its problems. I feel like, you know, you don't really do patches for controls, but you know, it's like something you get used to. I do feel like that obviously there's some controls you just have to get used to, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's good control.
Yeah, it just means you're used to how you need to get through the jankiness of the controls.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I mean, is there a favourite world at all? I don't
know, really. It's nothing, because that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't say I enjoyed, but that was a fine game to play through. But I don't feel like there was anything that stood out. Like it was all just the same to me. Like it was just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
There was nothing that really grabbed me, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. Like nothing. I don't think there was really anything that was stand out.
So it wasn't
to me,
really too imaginative.
Yeah, like to me, it was just an
before.
average sort of like.
Yeah, it was like.
It's not a dreadful game, but it's not a game that I would really want to replay.
It's not. Yeah, it's perhaps they were playing too much on nostalgia. Then, like, I guess, like there wasn't enough original content here
it's
to.
Like, and maybe it's just down to also personal preference. Like there was just some characters that, like, none of the characters clicked with me. Whereas in Banjo-Kazooie and other sort of like platformer games, the characters, they click, and I like the characters.
Yeah.
But I just found them all to just be dull, and I found the world to just be basic and go and paint by number sort of thing. And the glitches didn't help either. So like,
all right. Well, I suppose in that sense we can talk about the glitches. So. The game did get patched, or I'm not 100% sure like what were patched. The PC release got patched first, and then we recently got the PS4 patch. And I was saying to Jamie that one of the things they did, because people were complaining about like you get easily lost. People were saying that there was a map, like they wanted a map.
Was there?
Well, they wanted a map.
Oh, they wanted. I thought you said it was a map. Yeah. Well, I didn't really want a map. I just wanted it to be easier to where I needed to go.
And their excuse was, let's just put arrows everywhere. Essentially, that's what they've done.
It's a bit of a
pretty much. I haven't gone like proper into it, but from what I can see, I see a lot of arrows everywhere pointing you to like the next world and stuff, and where you need to go for the most part. One of the main glitches I come up with, which I hear a lot of people had, was in the 4th world, the capital casino world. How that works is that you have to win tokens by doing like different like kind of type of like mini games and stuff. You can also like break old casinos via the helicopter, because that had bombs for some reason. And you get the tokens, and I think it's like after like every 20 tokens. The not capital B, pretending to not be capital B, will essentially.
Oh yeah, I forgot he does tokens. That. He stands around
standing behind.
He's like,
it's kind of obvious. Even Yooka and Laylee basically know it's him.
Yeah.
There's no point pulling the fast one. But
actually, to be honest, I did like that. The fact that he was just like
that's kind of clever,
and he was just like, oh hello, and I'm just like,
and he was just like, I hope you fail on my casino, and then they're like, oh no, we didn't, and we're like, oh damn,
God damn it,
I have to give you then never mind, well done, I'll just give you another one. Well, there seemed to be a glitch where if you have like too many tokens, and you try and cash them in for a pagey, apparently sometimes it won't acknowledge the amount of tokens you have, and it won't give you all the pages.
Yes.
Now I think this happened to me, and so I actually can't 100% that level without restarting the entire game. That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's a pretty bad
game
glitch right
breaking,
there.
because that's like, if you do want 100% it.
Yeah, I had someone literally did a let's play, and he literally said he did it all over again to get back to that point. I mean, I got to give him credit for that, because I would not do it. Like, no offense to like our channels and that, but if I was doing like Yooka Laylee and that happened to me, I would just carry on and be like, sorry, I can't 100% because this is the game's fault. Right, so we're going to talk about music, weren't we?
Yeah.
So, alright, so...
The one part of the game I actually really
liked. Alright, go on.
Well, because it's the Grant Kirkhope, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Okay.
So Grant Kirkhope, and he made the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, which is the biggest thing that they've done. That's like, that's the one thing they should have. That's one thing they definitely needed to do. Because the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack is so good, and while I don't think the Yooka Laylee soundtrack is as good as the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, it's basically Banjo-Kazooie music, so it's like really good, and he knows his stuff. So that's the one thing I'm just glad they did, because if they had made shit music, I probably would have even worse of an opinion on it. But at least the music is good quality, so that's the one thing I really enjoy. It's not to a point that I would like say I've got a particular one that I love over all others, but like the music's decent, so I can actually it sounds like Banjo-Kazooie music, so I enjoy it. So that's the one thing I do enjoy, is the fact that they did do that. But yeah, so I quite like the music. Again, like, speaking as someone who hasn't played like the Banjo-Kazooie, I think it does. I have the similar mentality to Spyro, the Spyro series. Like, when I grew up playing the Spyro series, I liked the music enough that it fit with the game and the levels. And I think they're great to listen to. Not enough for me to actually go and say put it on my MP3 player, in my opinion. I just think, oh hey, it's great to hear the music back when I go back to the game. It's like, like, this fits with this magic world, this fits with this swamp world, this fits with whatever this type of world. It sounds really good, and I'm like, that's a Spyro music. I'll know straight away. Like, I'm sure with you, like, if you hear like a certain track from Banjo, you'll probably know it straight away. It's recognizable, which means it's a good, it's something that gets into your head. I mean, I suppose you've also got the opposite where it's like it's recognizable because it's so bad, and people keep playing it all the time. But I will admit, I do hear people from time to time play Banjo-Kazooie music randomly, like in other things. So I assume it must be pretty popular. Yeah, a lot of people do love the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, because that's really good.
Like, a lot of people saying that with like the Crash Bandicoot series, where they wanted like the original artist to work on the soundtrack, and unfortunately he didn't. But I did hear that he did make some like his own remix compositions that is available for people to download and listen to, what could have been in the original. So if they really didn't like the remixes, which I like most of the remixes, they did a pretty good job. But if you want to listen to like the real composer, apparently they sound phenomenal, like the original. So you can actually go up and find. I haven't actually bothered to look it up yet. But I've heard people saying that it is possible to listen to some of this music.
So you could just listen to that rather than the actual.
If you don't like it, or just listen to the original soundtrack. I hear people already put like videos of the actual game, and they just muted the music and just put the original soundtrack over it. So if they really don't like it, there you go. But obviously, like, I do understand you can't always get like the same people working on stuff. It's a similar thing to, I'm just relating to Crash because obviously that's like my thing.
It's the one you
that relates to me, and like they have a lot of voice acting in that game, and they pretty much couldn't get the original voice actors all the way from like the 1999 like like around the years. Instead they have the most recent ones, which is like in the 2000s, which is like towards the end of his career, which a lot of people like, they didn't like some of the voices, some of them they did, and some of them weren't, but I think they did a pretty good job anyway of recreating them scenes, and obviously doing their best to redo these voices even though they weren't the original cast. Obviously developers have to do whatever they can do, do the best that they can do with. So I do understand, like, I don't immediately be like, oh my god, it's not the original guy, like, I don't, I don't care. But if they manage to get someone from the original team, and it does feel like that, I think it's just like an extra extra fan service.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And an extra tribute to those people who have played it. Obviously, for me, like, it doesn't mean much at all. It's just like, oh, hey, this sounds pretty good,
exactly.
you know, and hey, it's, you know, it's neat to know that the same composer is working on this game again, and you know, it just sort of brings the whole package together, I suppose, really, when you think about it. You know, to make it a more enjoyable experience, you know, specifically for those who play Banjo-Kazooie. Alright, so trying to think. So we've covered, I think we've covered most of the things, really.
Yeah,
talked about like the characters, the bosses, and whatnot. Okay, so what would you think if they did a second one? Like, what would you like a second one? And like,
I think they should. I wouldn't be against them trying again, but if it's more of the same, then I'm not interested at all.
Yeah.
But if they actually take into account some of the issues that, like, obviously not personally I had with it, but just general things, if they had better characters in the next game, and if they like smoothed out the controls and had more diversity in like the worlds and characters, then I think they should try to do a sequel. But whether they do or not is another thing.
Is another thing, yeah.
But will they?
I do
so
remember.
I think Yooka Laylee did do well enough, so they might just make a game basically the same as this one, but with different, obviously, levels.
I do remember that. I think they did say, like, even before like the game was probably released, that they said they would like to work on more stuff.
Yeah.
But I suppose it all depends on what the fans want, what people like, how well obviously like Yooka. I mean, it's been a while. It's been out a while.
Yeah.
While we're obviously recording this, and obviously like, but they've only recently just released the patch technically. It's been out for quite a while. And they've only just recently you know, fixed the patch and stuff. And speaking of patches, I suppose just to quickly like finish off a few things here. There was one more glitch that I did forget, which I think I shoot you, which is also in, again, the casino world. So I don't know if it's like the most glitchiest one, but like I fell through the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember you showing me a video.
I just got and basically I don't know what happened exactly, but like I think I was like the helicopter, and then I did like I undid the I was flying really high, I undid the transformation, and I guess that, like, for some reason I must have like angled myself in such a way that I moved the camera so it like somehow positioned it underneath the screen, so it looked like there was nothing there. And when I reverted, I fell, and I guess the camera just kind of locked like that, and I thought, oh, I'm just gonna fall down and hurt myself because I know there's actually ground there. And instead, no, I just went down and there was just nothing there. And I just kept falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. I posted it on Twitter ages ago, and I literally I couldn't do anything. I had to quit. Literally just, it was, I mean, it was funny to look at, but just Yooka and Laylee just tumbling and tumbling endlessly in this grey void. In this grey void, and I don't know if anyone else got there, but I don't know, that world specifically was like probably the most glitches I ever really encountered. I heard other people have got some like weird like collision glitches and stuff.
Well, I had a glitch on the snow level as the snowplow where I hit a bump and I just got stuck on the side and I just couldn't move. And that was annoying because I had to then reset the level to get out of it and had to redo a lot of stuff all over again. But that's the probably biggest bug I had, to be honest.
Yeah, apart from that the break game and then the whole pages thing. I wanna know if anyone's happened to be watching this. I wanna know if anyone's had that same problem with the whole pagey thing with the tokens and that, because that's a big thing. That needs to be patched out somehow. If you're trying to complete this 100%, I mean, if you're not going 100%, doesn't really matter too much. But if you're a completionist type of guy, which I kind of am, I try to complete most games 100% because that's just type of player I am. Because I like to, if I like the game enough anyway. Yeah. But when something like that happens, it's like, well, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not going to, because that's a pretty big glitch.
It is.
And there was one thing I did want to say about the final boss, actually. Actual Capital B. So Capital B is the main villain, right? Main villain. It's always saying like random puns and stuff, like throughout the hub world and stuff. And you also do those quizzes with that Dr. Quack guy.
That's horrible.
And they're normally pretty straightforward. I think the only ones I struggled on because I don't really pay attention too much to my total, is when he asks like how many quills do you have?
Yeah, that's
or how many have you
that's
collected
horrible.
at this
Then
point?
questions
And I'm like,
were,
I don't know. I haven't checked recently.
yeah, exactly.
I can't remember.
Why are you gonna keep on
But it
on
is-
this information?
But it is multi-choice. It's just like a random filler thing, I suppose. They're trying to be a bit funny.
They're
And you
trying
can't
to
game
recreate
over,
a part
so-
in Banjo-Kazooie. There's a
Oh, okay.
right at the end.
Mhm.
But that's the thing, with Banjo-Kazooie, it was right at the end.
Yeah.
There's like this little puzzle board and there's quizzes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, with that, you've played and there's I can't remember there ever being any questions like, oh, how many puzzle pieces have you collected the entire game? I'm pretty sure there was no questions like that. It was all like, where's this sound from? Where does this
Right.
music is played?
Yeah.
Where is this like picture from and stuff like that?
They did have some pictures.
They did have
ones.
those
They
sort
did
of
have
ones,
those
yeah.
sort of ones.
They weren't too bad, but the thing is, there's a
yeah.
game that like, with Banjo-Kazooie, you've played the entire game, so you've like know roughly where things are. But
Yeah.
oh no, and at least in Banjo-Kazooie, it was one part. It was like the worst part, but it was just one part that you had to just get through and do.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, you every so often there was like a new section where you had to do it. And at least when you answer so many questions, right, you did at least go 2 steps
If
rather
you
than
answered,
just one.
if you answered quickly,
yeah,
he would be like,
he would
"Oh,
go,
hey,
you
can,
go
you
2
can."
steps.
There's technically no reason to not just keep moving, but I
Yeah.
guess because the game is like, no, you have to answer
Yeah.
these questions.
So at least that was like a bit of
So
a
it's like-
saving grace that if you were
If
quick
you're
enough,
quick
you
enough.
at least got to go a bit further than
Yeah, you basically have 3
one
hit
step.
points, and if you fail, you just have to do it again.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just an inconvenience, really.
Basically.
There's no real like proper punishment
Yeah.
for it at all. You just have to do it again. And
I
the questions
didn't like
are
it. I
random.
found them boring, to be honest. I just thought it just broke the pace of the game because you just stop and you have to answer these questions, and it's just
Yeah.
like,
One thing I do want to mention before I get onto the boss that I totally forgot. Apparently, there's co-op with this. Do you know? Do you know anything
is
about?
there?
Apparently,
I don't know. I didn't.
That's what I
even realise
heard.
There was co-op,
I heard
to
there's
be
like
honest.
somehow you can play this like 2-player, and I have no idea.
That's
No
weird.
idea.
I
Anyone
have
can
no
confirm
idea.
what this 2-player nonsense is? That's what I heard. This was ages ago. Though. I'm not too sure about
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. I didn't even realise there was.
Yeah, I have no idea. Apparently this has PS Vita support, which I have no idea what that I have no idea what that means. And I didn't know that Team 17 was actually working on this, and I'm a big fan of them because I like the
Yeah, I think they're
games.
the publisher.
So yeah, I didn't actually know that, which is
Yeah, I don't think they did any
Which is
work
kinda
on the game.
interesting.
They're just
No,
basically
they
publishing it.
yeah.
Because they're nowadays they're more of a publisher than actually a developer anymore. They more just
yeah.
publish games.
Yeah. So okay, to move on, let's get back to Capital B, the main villain. So, okay, you get onto pages, you go to fight him. It's like, okay, follow me into my lair, yada yada yada. And his first phase starts off with like him throwing bees. And I was a bit confused at first. I was like, well, what do I do with these bees? Do I spin them? But you have to use the shield to protect yourself, and then you can like run into them. Okay, not too bad. Second phase. This is what kind of annoyed me. The mooks keep coming. You try and get rid of the mooks. I did eventually find a good strategy for this though. The mooks keep coming and he keeps throwing like beehives at you, which are like explosive beehives, and they follow you. They go pretty far. And you have to like... The problem I have with this phase at first was that when they expect you to clearly go into first person mode, because yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing most of the time. I didn't really use first person mode that much. But if you go into first person mode, you can aim right and shoot. Well, when you're moving, it's kind of hard to just stop on a dime and then quickly go into first person mode. And when he's constantly throwing stuff, you have a small window. There is a window where he throws like 3, and then he stopped for a little bit, and you have to just quickly stop, get into first person mode, and then shoot. And I felt like the window time frame was very tight because you can't just quickly do that, and then you have to try and quickly get out of first person mode, which you can't do very quickly.
Yeah.
So I feel like your movement is just not fast enough. Whereas he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna throw stuff
just
at you.
spam and attack.
And I'm like, okay, I need a moment. And then you've got like the hordes of like the little blue minions, which you see a lot of them throughout. They're like the common enemies throughout the game, all just kind of surrounding you and stuff. But I found a good strategy. Like in certain corners, if you stand all the way back, the enemies just like get confused and they just won't go near you.
Really?
They just stay still. So that was a bit of a strategy.
just explode.
And then once you did that, the whole area explodes and you've got like this toxic area, and then I did find this a little bit funny, and then he like slams, but each time he slams he does like a different slam. Like at first it's like a butt bounce, and the next time he does like a body slam, and then the next time he falls on his back.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little bit neat, but this is the bit that annoyed me. The next phase after that, you have the bees following you as well, and what I didn't understand about this, right? Okay, so you dodge shockwaves basically. And what's been working all the time is that you can just tailwind. It doesn't seem to work this time. I think you have to like roll into him this time with the sonar, and rolling the controls are terrible. You're in a small area with toxic waste, which does a lot of damage on you, right? And you're in this area for quite a lot. There's like 5-6 phases on top of that.
There's quite a few. I remember it lasting forever.
I mean, I know it's a final boss, but like this is just like the same thing but extended.
Yeah, I know.
And I kept spinning into him, and I was like, why isn't this working? And I feel like the window, because you have to spin onto him and then like do the butt bounce stump type of thing on him. I feel like the window for that is too quick. Yeah. Like you literally do it, and once you finally got him on his back, you're like, okay, I'll do it. Nothing happens. He just gets up and carries on, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, the window is too short. Yeah. Like you literally have to have reflexes of a god. You need to do it really fast, like instantly. I mean, obviously I know ahead of time, so I try and do it as quickly as I can, but it's so irritating. And like I said, when I got to that phase, I was like, what do I do? And in the end, the most awkward boss fight for me, really, especially that phase. Literally, I would just hug him in the shield with the bees trying to hit me, and then just kind of slowly move back, slowly move forward, slowly move back, slowly move forward, and eventually it would indicate that I hit him. Yeah. Like, it was so annoying. I don't understand, because if you try and move about and try to gain speed, because I thought that's what you had to do, there's nowhere to move. You're surrounded by toxic. Yeah, exactly. And it gets worse because as the phase goes along, it starts breaking more, and it turns into like an actual honeycomb. So even less area. It's like, why is it before I was able to just tail whip him, and now I can't? Why do I have to awkwardly use the roll? The roll controls bad. In my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but for us it just controls bad. Terrible, It was very awkward. I will say, when he got to like the honeycomb shockwaves, I didn't think it was too bad. That was better. But then they mixed the shockwaves on top of the bees as well, and so he had the stupid hitbox again, so I had to do that. And the final phase, I believe, was when he throws like bee darts at you. And it took me the longest time. I was like, what the hell do I do with this? Because it follows you everywhere, and it's really hard to avoid. But I believe you have to fly, so you have to have enough magic, and if you don't, you have to stat. Yeah, because they don't give you any butterflies at all, and this is several phases. And if you die, you have to do the entire boss fight again. Yeah. So many phases. I wish there was at least, like, even if you got to like the second or the third, for a boss fight that has so many phases, I feel like there needs to be like some sort of leeway, a bit of a checkpoint, but there's nothing. Nothing, no. There is nothing. And they give you no health, no magic, no nothing. That was Slayer. Yeah. I don't think there's really too much to say. I think the only thing which is minor, I mean, of course we're probably gonna miss things anyway. It's not a review. It's like there were potions, but I never really used them. No, there's like that vending machine thing, those tonics. That's what it is. I think a lot of them were just like extras if you want them, but a lot of them they had negatives as well, so I didn't see the point of using them. I think there was a couple that I used, but not a lot. It's like they're pretty useless, to be honest. I think the only tonic I used was like the one that can detect like treasure nearby when I was trying to look for like quills. Yeah, I think I might have used that one as well. I would admit it was a little irritating sometimes because it had like that classic whistle that I can't even do it. That that's the sound that would make. And there's at one point where it kept making that sound, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. It irritated the hell out of me, and I was looking around, and I was literally nothing. And I was like, "Where is it?" And I went to look, and I tried to go because it was like a floating island. I tried to go under the island, and I couldn't see anything. And I was like, "Where is this sound coming from?" It randomly plays in the credits as well. Like it has that sound going, all the time for some reason. From what I heard, unless I glitched the game somehow, I don't know. But I kept hearing it go, and I was like, why is it making this sound? I was so confused. And you can randomly pause the credits and fast forward it and rewind it if you want to. That credits is long. I had to skip it. I didn't realise, like I was literally letting it play. I was like doing something on the computer. I turned around and it was still on the list of A for the credits. And I was like,
what the hell?
How long is this credit? So I had to skip it. I couldn't, like, I ain't got time for this.
Because I try not to skip credits because I'm never sure whether there's going to be something extra at the end.
Yeah.
But,
But
sometimes they're too long.
Yeah. But so yeah, we've yet to complete the 100%. But you do the normal ending, and basically you beat Capital B once you eventually get past the annoying boss fight. When you lead the darts into him by flying around and stuff. When you do that, and it's like, oh hey, he's not the real villain, and that the Dr. Quack guy, he's like an assistant. It's just kind of there really. He's all like, oh no, he's not the real dude. He's just like the lower dude. And then this random cannon, which is like part of one of your side quests where you had to like, I think you had to like help him blow up something or something. He just comes in. He's like, oh, like something wrong with me, and then he just blows them up, and they go into the book. So I guess kind of like possibly like a sequel base. Like, hey, they might make a sequel. I'm not too sure. And then they all go back to Shipwreck Creek, which is like the hub world where Yooka Laylee were to begin with before you go into Capital B's hideout, which you don't really do anything there. It's just kind of there really at the beginning, isn't it? And then because you're mainly in the hub world of Capital B's like factory, but the shipwreck. I mean, I like the area. It looks like quite pretty and stuff, but you don't really do anything there. There's nothing to really do.
No, not really.
You know, it's pretty empty. You know, like in terms of, I think there's like a few quills about and stuff, but other than that, it's just kind of there really. But all right. Overall thoughts. So I would arguably get it a 7, maybe a 6 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good, like from my experience as someone who's not played banjo-kazooie, but as a platformer fan, I enjoyed it enough. I did feel like, I mean, it was good that they added the patch with like the guys and stuff. I feel like they needed that from day one. It seems like a lot of developers are having this issue where they're patching things in.
They fix
which I feel like it's a bad habit that developers are having.
They can release it now and then deal with the issues as they arise.
Like really, this should have been ironed out. Like I get it, development time, and sometimes you just run out of time and stuff. I do get it. I'm not a developer myself, so I can't be like, oh hey, I can relate and stuff. But you know, and like the game breaking glitches, I don't know what happened with that fourth world specifically. I don't know what was going on with that, but clearly there's some crazy stuff. And the controls need to be refined. The controls, they're not as bad as Croc, but just comparing to a game that had like tanky controls, Croc was very difficult and had tanky controls, and that needed to be refined. And they tried to improve that in 2, and they kind of did, but kind of didn't. And then we never got a third one, probably because just the series just fell flat. It couldn't compete to like Crash and Spyro. It just wasn't as memorable as those two. So I mean, I always say like never say never to like a sequel, because if they can improve on these things, like say make it a bit more, make them more interesting. I mean, okay, so it's like, kind of like the same with a lot of games that are obviously bringing back nostalgia. You've got Crash, you've got Sonic, you've got Bubsy coming back. Like, who wanted Bubsy? You know, not many people did. Of course, I'm still gonna play it anyway, but like it all seems to be like the year of the platformers. The platformers are starting to come back, which I'm happy for. You know, I was always sad where like I felt like a lot of the consoles were going the FPS route, and that was it. And I'm like, well, I don't play first-person shooters, so where does that leave me? Do I have to go to Nintendo and just play Mario all the time? I suppose. You know, so I'm that, but now it's starting to get more. Hey, let's go back to the old school and bring back platformers.
Like A Hat in Time is another one coming out soon, I think.
You've also got that that Xbox, that Microsoft platformer with that fox, Lucky Tail. Yeah, that looks interesting. Super Lucky Tail, when I saw him, I thought he looked like Conker straight away. I was like, is that meant to be a Conker or something? Like, literally people were saying like, kind of reminds me of Conker. But I mean, I wouldn't have thought that Microsoft would have had a platformer, honestly.
No, yeah.
So that threw me off. So I guess everyone seems to be jumping on the bandwagon. So I wouldn't say no to a sequel. Definitely not.
I'd be interested as long as they improved it.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't, even if that was more of the same, I'd probably still try it just to see what it's like.
Or maybe like if they want to do something different, a different platformer or something.
I'd be interested in a Yooka Laylee kart racing game.
Okay, yeah.
Like something like the old Rare, like what was their banjo and like Donkey? No, there's
Diddy Kong
Racing is what I'm trying to think.
Which
something similar to that I'd be interested
which Crash Team Racing was based off of.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have
I used to love
playing
like Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah.
And that's a Rare.
Yeah, I heard Diddy Kong Racing is good. I mean, I played Crash Team Racing, so if it's as good as that, then
I'd be interested in like new
like a little party spin-off type of
thing.
Yeah, something
just
like
something
that.
different.
Yeah,
something
different sort of.
But whether they will or not is another thing.
I'm still hoping for my CTR remake, which I think it will happen, but yeah, no, I can see that. Just something to like spruce up the series, I suppose. You know, trying something new, because you never know, it might spark some interest, because there are a lot of, like I said, a lot of people play a lot of Mario Kart, but like in my case, I didn't have Mario Kart. I had Crash Team Racing, and that was my jam. You know, and I loved it. I wasn't a big fan of Crash Bash. It was a decent enough game, but I didn't enjoy it nowhere near as much as Crash Team Racing. You know, so I do think I hope that there are spots for platformers, and you know, I do hope that they, you know, perhaps they can work on something else maybe, and just you know, take things into consideration and just improve on everything. But overall, you know, I know we harped on it a lot, but I do like the game. I don't think it's that bad. I just think it's like maybe average to slightly above average. It's not like super amazing.
Than you, but
yeah,
I found
probably
it to
because
be average. Not something I'd really go back to.
As someone who hasn't played Banjo Kazooie, I would say I suppose my opinion's a bit more fair in terms of obviously you've got high expectations, so that's why I kind of like wanted to do this discussion, because we both going to have different experiences, because you know what you should expect or what you're hoping to expect, whereas I'm just going in like fresh, okay, I'm a platformer, but I don't actually know what Banjo was like really too much, so you know, we've got different opinions, but yeah, that's pretty much it really. That's our thoughts. So if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, guys, and let us know if you like this idea. Perhaps we'll do another discussion on some other game or something, giving a bit of thoughts, but until then, guys, we will see you next time. Bye bye.